Good evening, my dear students. Today we are discussing about one of the topic in genetics. So topic is the Huntington's disease. So Huntington disease simply it is a neurodegenerative disorder. It is a neurodegenerative disorder means it related to the nervous system. Nerves are going to damage. It is one is also hereditary disease also transferred from one generation to another generation also due to the mutation or what some reasons are there. We'll discuss about every character of Huntington disease. First of all, we'll discuss about definition of the Huntington disease. Just check this. Huntington disease, it is related to the progressive genetic neurodegenerative disease. It leads to the dementia. It leads to the dementia means confusion, abnormal movement, and the loss of memory and improperly thinking like that. That is the one few signs and symptoms. So the Huntington disease, it is a autosomal dominant. Autosomal dominant means 23 pairs divides into 22 plus 1 chromosome. 22 is the autosomal chromosomes. So here it mostly occurred in the 30s and 40s. And rare cases below 20, it is the 6 percentage only, that is also called as a juvenile Huntington disease. In case this type of problem is occurred below 20 years, that is also called as a juvenile Huntington disease. So the juvenile Huntington disease or Huntington disease, it is the mostly occurred in the motor nerve system and cognitive nervous system and psychiatric problems is develops in the body. So we'll discuss about each and every character. Just check this point. Huntington disease is the autosomal dominant. So here especially here means one abnormal chromosome, one abnormal copy only. But previously we'll discuss about hematochromatosis process. Here both genes is affected, one gene also affected. But Huntington disease only one gene is affected, only one gene. But previous some other genes, both some other diseases, so develops the both characters, both genes are going to mutation, sometimes one, but this one is only one gene is going to mutation or changes, abnormal copy, one abnormal copy of the gene clinically have these diseases. So there are no carriers for the Huntington's, either affected person, either free from the disease, right? There is no carriers. But in the hemochromatosis process, two members carriers ratio, hemochromatosis ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1. One is affected person, two members is carriers, and one member is free from the disease. But here there is no carriers, one is affected person and one more member is free from the disease. So we'll discuss about every character. Just check this. So here mention this point. Parent with Huntington disease will have 50 percentage chance to pass Huntington disease to the child. So that's why here mentioned 50 percentage is to 50 percentage, 1 is to 1 ratio, 1 is to 1 ratio. But in previous diseases 1 is to 2 is to 1 ratio. So just check this point. So blue color indicates the affected person and brown color indicates the unaffected person. So in this condition, so these two members are affected and these two members are free from the disease. So 1 is to 1 ratio, 1 is to 1 ratio. But other diseases not like this. So sometimes carriers is present, sometimes is affected person, and sometimes both also is present, right? Now we'll discuss about autosomal dominant. It is also called as a dominant inheritance. So autosomal, both males and females can affected with the Huntington disease. Not only male, not only female, both are suffered from the this type of problems. Both males and female can pass the Huntington disease to the childrens. So it is autosomal dominant means a person has Huntington disease, there is 50% risk to the each children, 50 percentage risk to the each. That is why it's a dominant autosomal disease. So first of all, we focus on the if person does not inherited, person is does not inherited from the HD means Huntington disease, their parents, they can't pass to their children also. In case there is no disease, they can't pass to the next generation also. Each child of person with the Huntington disease independent to the 50 percentage of risk, always 50 percentage of risk. For example, in this generation, two members is affected, two members are the safe, unaffected persons. Affected persons and unaffected. So here only male is affected? No. Only female is affected? No. Both is affected and both are unaffected also. There is no particular reasons. There is no particular only this type of disease only develops in the male, develops in the female. They don't know that. Sometimes occurs in the both, sometimes occurs in the one also. Right? So, discovering Huntington disease at Huntington, scientist name is Huntington. So, interesting in the transcript 15, a short term, and a chromosome 4 encoding the Huntington. Means this code is very, very important for you. Chromosome number 4. Huntington disease. Huntington is a scientist to determination of this type of problems in the chromosome number 4. And what are their causes? So first of all, cause and risk factors. Huntington disease caused by the and faulty genes, abnormal genes runs in the family, in the entire family, or one person, two persons, or and the normal copy genes produce the a protein. It contains the 5 to 35 repeated trinucleotides like a CAG, called as a Huntington protein. CAG is the Huntington protein. How many proteins? 30 up to 5 to 35 in normal person. In case in Huntington person, 36 repeated CAG is the presence. 36 CAG genes is present. Up to 35, minimum 5, maximum 35 is the normal value of CAG genes. In case more than 35, means 36, 37, 38, that is called as a Huntington disease. That is also called as a faulty protein or faulty gene. The faulty Huntington protein interfere with the nerve function. So excess CAG's presence is in the body. Okay, fine. How many CAGs? 36 CAGs is present. Actually, 35 only is present. Due to the some reasons, 36 plus 37, 38, like that is presence. So what happened with this? It damages the nerve cells. To damage the nerve cells. So that's why it is also called as a neurodegenerative disorder. So what are their mechanisms? Some mechanisms is mentioned. Huntington disease so interact with the over 100 proteins and appears to have the multiple biological functions, and behavioral and mutation proteins is not completely understood, but it is a toxic certain cell types, and particularly in the brain only brain. And early damage is the most evident. It is a stratum, and but the disease progress and other areas brain also more consequently affected. So this one is not controls the particular type of body movements and mood and higher cognitive functions is occurred in the body. So what are their characters or presence in the body? So just check these signs and symptoms. First one is the motor related symptoms, chorea. It's also called as the Huntington's chorea. And the next one, cognitive functions and psychiatric functions. So just check these functions. Few functions are there. These are the signs and symptoms: motor related, cognitive related, and psychiatric functions is developed in the Huntington disease. Huntington disease means simply increases the CAG values more than 36. It affect on the nerve cells damages. It leads to the Huntington disease. What are the signs and symptoms? These are the signs and symptoms. So how to diagnosis? So it one is a diagnosis by the first of all collect the family history from the patient, and clinically finding adults onset slowly progressive chorea followed by the progressive dementia, and the CT scanning, MRI scanning. These are the few diagnostic tests are available, and go with that. And sometimes a genetic test also. Genetical testing is which gene is affected. Already mentioned CAG gene. The CAG gene is 36 plus is present, that is called as a Huntington disease. This one is identified in the prenatal also, predictive genetic test also, these type of characters are used to the determination of Huntington disease. So how to treatment, what is the treatment of Huntington disease? So there is no permanent treatment for the any genetical disease, just a management only. So just a management only, that's why here mentioned there is no cure for the Huntington disease, no cure for the Huntington disease, only management. Depend on the group of associated symptoms, certain medications may be preferred, but depends upon the patient condition only, depends upon the patient condition. What are their medications? Haloperidol is the best drug, B is the tetrabenzanes also, and different types of drugs are mentioned. Chloropromazine and these drugs, some antipsychotic disorders, so antidepressants, antipsychotic, mood stabilizers, and supportive therapy is speech therapy, physical therapy, different types of therapies, and different types of drugs also available, just management purpose only, not permanently cure from this disease. So this is about our topic, and tomorrow we'll go with the one more topic. Thank you.